What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Sometimes you want to move your cars around without firing them up. So I bought a set of 4 wheel dollies, and these are just like skates that go underneath the tires of your car, and then you can move them around. These are great for auto shops, but for me here, getting prepared for the winter, trying to utilize as much of the space in my garage so I can get everything in this winter is kind of the most important thing. And these skates actually help me do it because I can't drive my cars into the positions that I keep them for the winter. So what we have here are wheels. And what I like about these big plastic casters with metal hardware is that they have a little lock here as identified by this little switch right there. So once you get the skate in the car in the position you want, you kind of just step on this right there. They're kind of like the ones that are at the bottom of like barbecue grills that move around. And then we have the plate itself, and you can see here they are steel. They're heavy. I would call these things maybe 4 or 5 millimeters thick, but man, they are pretty robust. Diamond plate. You can see here they have a little bit of a V-like bend in them. I always thought that having a round bottom to them would be better for, creating no pressure points on tires, especially if you're going to store them on here. But they only make a few of those in round, and it didn't look like, because they had bars on the side, that they'd maybe be wide enough for some of my crazy wide tires, especially on the Prowler. They do have this other bar here, as you might be able to see, that is built into the side, and it rotates. So when I lift it up like this, it works like a handle, but then when you've got it sitting on the ground, it should droop down. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with anything, but it free floats there a little bit. But it does make it nice for being able to pick this up, remove them, stack them, store them, etc. So you can see the 4 holes there. I'm just going to go ahead and get these skates assembled, and then we will try them out. Okay, to assemble these, it looks like you take basically all the washers and the nut off of each of these casters, just put it through the hole, and then drop those on top. And so what you can see here is on the wheel, they are all already installed, so everything is together. So I'm just going to remove these and then put them on here. All right, something that I want to tell you that will probably make a lot of sense as you're doing it, but only 2 of the wheels have these locks on it right here, just kind of like the locks underneath your barbecue grill or something. And so you want to put both of these wheels on the same side. That way, when the skate is underneath your car wheel, you can get to both locks and really lock it into place. Now, if you put one of these on the wrong side, it's probably not going to be the end of the world, but you won't be able to lock as many wheels as you probably should. So that's just one piece of advice. And then you are going to want like a wrench to tighten these down, kind of compress these down onto that washer right there, just to make sure that these things don't move at all. All right, I think I've got them all tightened up here. The tools that I found worked best were having 2 adjustable wrenches like that, because you need to twist the top one and hold the bottom one. And as you're tightening it down, this little space in here becomes very compressed. And so a very large adjustable wrench will get stuck in there, pinched in there. So you want something nice and thin. Now, I will also say I couldn't figure out a way to stack them. So, if you're not using them under your car and you want to stack them for storage or something like that, I'm not sure this kind of offset way is kind of holding 2 together, but sometimes they are really stackable. So these don't seem to be that way. I think maybe you would put them more on the side and have the handles flipped up. All right, now that I got this wheel jacked up, I'm going to take one of these skates. You don't have to lift it up very far, I don't think, but it's going to have to be a little further than that because of the nice little cut there. And then just want to center that so as it comes back down, it'll hit as much of that pad as possible. Just going to rotate the, decompress the jack here. Boom. And look at that. Sitting on there like a pretty little lady. Let's get the rest jacked up and see if we can move this car around. So I've got it up, and this rear tire is a 20-inch tire with a pretty big sidewall. And one of the things that I was worried about is these nuts hitting the actual tire itself, and that is totally what is happening here. So it's not the most ideal thing. I don't know that it's going to cause a problem. You can see the tire is too wide to avoid that other nut right there. It's the same on the back, it's just the way the tire centers. So depending if you're just moving it around, probably not a big deal. because you're certainly hitting rocks and stuff like this on the road. But if you're gonna put this up for storage on here, that might be a concern. But it does fit. Here's the moment of truth. I've got all 4 wheels up on the skates. Now, this whole body here is aluminum, so I don't want to press too hard on it, so I'm hoping that this thing will move without a lot of resistance. Push on the wheel and the suspension here. Woohoo, it's moving. It's moving, look at that. Now, moving along a big car with a full tank of gas. Probably shouldn't be a one-person job, but it is moving. And now I can move this thing against the wall and get it out of the way for the winter. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. So they definitely work, and you can make it a one-person job. Make sure you have a nice smooth surface. Concrete, especially if a car is disabled or not running, these can be great for getting it around the workshop, keeping things moving. Hey, if you want to pick up a set of these skates, I'll put a link to them in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.